Kira. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. You're trying to outdo us all with your background of bicycles, aren't you?
Just trying to keep in theme with what we're here for.
Impressive. Is this at the collective?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. The little like closet area that's my
Okay.
office.
All right. Oh, okay. Now I know where you are. Okay.
Yeah, in the very back.
Yeah. We've got several people joining us for the first time. This is great. Wow. Well, Austin's got the right idea. He's outside for this meeting.
So one of me is outside, the other of me is a computer that's streaming this on Facebook Live.
I was wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
You look exactly the same.
I know.
Javin has arrived. Hello, Stephanie. It's been a while. How's school treating you?
Oh, the semester is almost over. Counting the days.
Me too. I have spring off, so I'm particularly excited.
I'm trying
Aaron,
to,
are you? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I'm trying to decide if I have spring off or not. So
I like that. As a student, you can you can decide.
Aaron, are you recording this?
Am I? I am
Yeah.
recording this.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Oh, is that okay? I thought you wanted me to stop recording because you were going to say something edgy.
No. I say that stuff on camera. No, but that's good because we're gonna start posting these on a YouTube channel just for in case people want to go back and watch them.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's recording.
I know some people think it's interesting to watch these after they happen.
Now we got pressure. We got to perform.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's start. It's 5 minutes past. I have the agenda. We'll go through it. But like always, let's do very quick introductions. I'll call out people depending on what order you are in the screen. Say your name, say what you're most excited for about warm weather, and do it quickly, okay? Okay, Aaron, you go first.
Aaron Skabelund, I'm excited to get on my road bike again.
Nice. Okay, I'm next. I'm Austin Taylor. I am excited to mountain bike. I think that'll be fun. I haven't done it in a long time. Stan Morris.
Dan Morris, I'm excited to take some trips up Provo Canyon. Did one last weekend in a little warmer weather. So I'm going to do another one Saturday.
Nice. Kira.
Kira Johnson, I am so excited to go swimming.
Mm-hmm. Becca.
I'm in California and it's been warm since forever, so I like hammocking.
Yeah, nice. Okay, Lori.
Lori Spruance, I'm also excited to be mountain biking and hoping to go tomorrow.
What trail?
I'm thinking about going out to Eagle Mountain. I've actually never biked out there, so I'm bummed the ones burned by Timpanogos Park, and that I'm happy they're under construction to be revitalized, but that's normally where I would go.
Thanks. Okay, Chris Day.
Hey, I'm Chris, student at BYU, and I'm excited to play some more tennis outside.
Nice. Jared.
Hey guys, Jared Lillywhite. I'm ready to go on some hikes.
Cool. Stephanie.
Stephanie West, and I'm excited to get some living things planted on my back patio that looks very barren right now.
Yeah. Same. Rob.
Rob Hunter, Provo City Engineering, and also I am looking forward to fresh fruits and vegetables that are just starting to grow. So,
Carly.
Carly Reber, most excited about deciding on a whim. I'd like to go outside right now and not having to put on a bunch of layers.
Okay, Aspen.
I'm excited to use our new baby carrier on a bike, so that will be fun.
Nice. Congrats on the new baby. Okay, Serena.
We also we just got a carrier for our 15-month-old, so we're excited to do lots of hikes and family bike rides and such.
Fun. Melissa.
I missed the question. What was it?
So what we're saying is say your name and then say what you're excited to do with the warm weather.
Oh, so I work at the county health department. I'm most excited to plant my garden, for sure.
Okay, Victoria.
Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm a student at BYU, and I'm most excited to see flowers.
Also just got a carrier for
Cool. Dan, can you mute? Your speaker's playing through. Cool, thanks. Okay, Brian.
Hi guys, I'm Brian. Yeah, I'm getting, man, what am I not excited for? Water skiing, riding my bike, mountain biking, hiking, bring it all on.
Yeah. Heather.
I'm Heather. I'm excited from camping and for my kids to ride their bikes more to school.
Cool. Hey, Robert Mills.
Hi guys, I'm Robert, work for Provo City. I am just excited to be outside and especially cooking outside. So.
Todd.
Hi, I'm Todd Greener. I guess I'm most excited to see the plants come back. Been missing the leaves.
Yeah. Brenda.
I am Brenda. I'm excited for gardening and seeing more birds out there.
Thanks, Spencer. Spencer Smith. Okay, Spencer says he doesn't have a mic. Excited to go fishing and to bike campouts. Same here. I have a long tour planned for later this summer. Okay, Javin. Working out.
I'm excited for summer festivals and maybe do some more canyoneering. Oh, and I'm with Provo City Planning.
Okay, thanks, Javin. I often do meetings on a treadmill too. It's a ton of fun. Jim Price.
Hey, Jim Price with Mag. Hey, Austin. I'm excited to go sit outside in the shade.
Yes. Okay, Adam Norris.
Hi, I'm Adam. I'm super excited to play tennis again outside. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is Clark Pixton.
Yep. See if I can get my video going. Hey, we've got a big row of tomato plants on our windowsill inside, so we're excited to plant those outside in the garden, as well as not to have to bundle up when I ride my bike to work.
Yes. Thanks. Okay, Christine.
Hi, I'm excited to go camping and just plant our garden. What are you excited for, Wally? To wear no shoes is what he said.
Okay, I love it. Aaron, can you let me share my screen?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so first we're gonna walk through announcements. I'll show you a bunch of things. So the first is, you probably got emails about the Provo City General Plan update. If you aren't familiar about a general plan, it gives guidelines, values, and very generic direction for the city government to go in. And things like the zoning map and the transportation master plan are supposed to be in line with the general plan. And so it is an important document, and it's only updated once every 5, 10, 15 years. And so now is our chance to get our ideas and opinions into it. So for those who have attended the open houses, there have been 2. Thank you for doing that. They're now sending out a second survey. And so I encourage everyone to take that survey. It's at provogeneralplan.com. And we'll be emailing that out and everything. But be sure to take that. We did pack the house pretty well on the second open house. So the consultants that the Provo City hired were asking questions like, what do you value most in the city? And having walkable and bikeable neighborhoods, as well as good public transit access, was regularly one of the top things people were asking for. So that's really good that we're getting out there. Okay, the second thing is, there is at least one BikeWalk Provo related person running for office this year. And BikeWalk Provo, as a 501c3 nonprofit, we can't endorse any candidates. But we want to highlight people who are associated with us who are running. Rachel Whipple, you probably met her. She's leading our Center Street Advocacy Project. She's running for city council in district, I don't know the number, I think it's 5. It's the one that Dave Harding is in right now, and it's generally the downtown area. So she is one of our volunteers, and then also Dave Harding is on our board of directors. And so we really can't go wrong with whoever wins that. We don't know if Dave Harding is running again or not, but like I said, either of those people are associated with us. If you guys hear of any other candidates running that are associated with BikeWalk Provo, let us know. If you're interested in running, let us know. And the more urbanist-minded candidates that run, the better for Provo. Okay, you've probably seen these on the street. Aaron led a great team of tactical urbanists to highlight that our streets should be safe for everybody. In the US, only about 25% of bike trips are made by women, and we want to increase that. So gender representation is a very small step in the right direction, but we took a risk in doing this, and we're pretty proud of it. So you'll see those all throughout the city. So over this past month, we did a biking tour with John Curtis. When he was in town, a lot of you came. We asked him to join the Congressional Bike Caucus, which is a bipartisan group of Congress members that support biking related causes. And he has committed to join that. And he's sending out a press release on it. So he is joining that. And you probably heard this as well. Our own Mary Wade, the former director of BikeWalk Provo and now lead of our Safe Routes to School group, won the Pedestrian Advocacy Award for this year. And that's an award that UDOT's Move Utah program gives. So we want to congratulate her on that. And then lastly, we've been doing a series called BikeWalk Provo Chats. Becca here interviewed Mayor Kafusi on one. Last night I interviewed George Handley. The George Handley one hasn't been released yet, but we're gonna be putting these on a YouTube channel that'll come up. So we'll probably do some more with elected officials and key city staff members. So that's it for announcements. Let me get the agenda. So next, Aaron, if you want to give quick project updates as things have been moving along.
Sure. Do you want to show the organizational chart
Yeah, I'll pull that up.
just to help me? So I am the project manager, and I really appreciate all the folks who volunteered and are moving things forward. There's not a lot to report. A lot is going on, but I want to keep this brief. As Austin mentioned, Rachel's been following up about Center Street, and I think things are moving forward thanks to Rob and Jared and other folks at the city. We really appreciate that. Jamin Rowan and Emily, whose last name I'm
Emily Craig, is it?
Yeah, Emily Craig, who both live in the Tree Streets, are taking the lead on our push to get a BYU Central stop over by the Creamery. They're really encouraging the mayor's office to start the public input process and do a good job, but make it quick because I think a lot has been already discussed and there's a lot of support for this to happen, and BYU is moving forward with their music building, so it would be good to get this stop in as quickly as possible. So that's moving forward. I've been following up with Complete Streets with Public Works, so that's happening. Let's see. The other only other thing to report, I think, is the Safe Routes to School. Mary gave me a call, and she about this a couple of days ago, and it appears that a lot of her efforts and of efforts of other people have kind of started to break a log jam, and things are starting to happen between the district and the city in terms of Safe Routes to School. So she's really optimistic about things going forward, and the folks in her group will be busy and will be recruiting other people. One of the things I'll just mention that she's thinking of doing that I'm really excited about is, for years we've been helping the district and all the schools sponsor or organize a bike to school week, and she's thinking of doing something similar beginning this fall with walk to school. And let's see, bike parking stuff is happening. Jacob, Danny, and Spencer have been really proactive, reaching out to businesses. And so if there's other people here who you patronize a business, or you live in a housing complex or somewhere that needs better bicycle parking, please get in touch with them or us, and we can put you in touch with them, and maybe they'll enlist you in this effort. And then Carly has also been really active in planning service projects, and we look forward to probably starting having one next month. Javin has raised his hand.
Hey, I just have a comment on that, Aaron. I know, Austin, we still have some bike racks at the city, and so if there's a location that you know is in need of one, then feel free to contact me. I can work with that business.
Javin, can these go in public places or?
Austin could probably answer that question.
Okay.
Yeah, when the city council funded it, it was pitched that it's going to be in public space. And so, yeah, a lot of what we focus on, driving, is the private property. So like if a business if it's not fronting the street, there's not space on the sidewalk, and it has to be on private property, then a lot of times that's where we step in. And the business buys the rack, but we install it for free. And installation is usually the biggest barrier.
Okay. Thanks for that clarification.
Javin, how many do you have?
I think I have about 30.
30?
Give or take.
Okay.
I have a list that I have to install, but yeah.
All right. I think that'll give us more to do as well. We can help identify places where they could go in public spaces. So that's it for me, unless people have questions.
Okay, looks like no questions. So the next agenda item is Bike Month. So each year, historically, Provo City, BikeWalk Provo, Provo Bicycle Collective, other organizations have put together a month's worth of events, all focused on bicycling. And we're gonna do it again this year. So Aspen's here and she's gonna pitch some ideas to us. She works in the Parks and Rec department and she manages events for the city. So Aspen, do you wanna tell us about your event idea and maybe like ask how we can help and see how we can help you with it?
Yeah, definitely. Hi, I'm Aspen. I'm the event coordinator for Provo City Events. So we're based out of the recreation department. So I get to work from the rec center, which is so fun. So with COVID this year, we do have a little extra budget towards the end of the year. Our fiscal year is in July. So we thought, let's do a cool bike event. Why not for Bike Month? And so we were thinking of doing, and so I'm just kind of looking for your guys' feedback, being a very applicable audience. We were looking into doing a concert cruise similar to what Salt Lake City did this summer, which they did with a lot of success. So kind of how it works is that there's usually we're looking at 4 locations. And they're all about a mile apart and people would bike from location to location and there'd be a different entertainment act at each one. And they're kind of just mini acts, like maybe a 15 or 20 minute performance. And then we book maybe 15 or 20 minutes to get to the next location. And then, yeah, so it's just kind of a route. We'd probably use, it would be a free event. We'd probably use Eventbrite as the ticketing platform just to split everyone up into 4 groups. So each group would start at a different location and it'd just be a fun, big cycle. We're looking at the idea of doing just bands or maybe other entertainment acts as well. So maybe we have comedians or a folk dance group or something, and that might maybe get some more family demographics coming, or we can do all bands. We've got tons of contacts either way. We might have some food vendors around. And in terms of locations, we were looking at using the Covey Center for the Arts, the Provo Recreation Center, and then the other 2 are kind of up for debate. We would also probably look to hopefully BikeWalk Provo for some volunteers that could maybe lead each group on safe routes between each location. So we put you in a nice, beautiful orange vest, safety vest, and lead each procession. And then we'd probably do some large giveaway items, either, well, we'll see how much we can get, but I think right now we're looking to gift cards from local bike shops or whatnot. So that's kind of what we're looking at doing. I guess my feedback from you guys would be, I guess, are there certain routes that you would want us to highlight, like the 200 East Bike Parkway? Are there locations that you think might be cool to have a band at? And just if you think this is a good idea, or if there's another way that we could use this money to also highlight Bike Month.
I love this event idea, and I've heard of the different music venues in Salt Lake City doing this, where you bike around to the different concerts. Yeah, what do you guys all think?
Yes, it's great.
Cool.
I love it. Do it. I might come out just for it. It sounds incredible. If I'm vaccinated.
Okay, great. Well, it sounds like people are on board with the idea. Does anyone have, it looks like people are loving the idea of highlighting the 200 West. If we did choose 4 locations, I think the other 2 we were looking at was Memorial Park off of Center Street. And then this is kind of close to it, but the Peaks Ice Arena, just in terms of parks that are big enough and close enough. We can basically set up anywhere, but that's kind of the 4 locations we were looking at. Can anyone think of any other ones that maybe we are overlooking that might be a cool spot to do a pop-up?
Pioneer Park could work. That's kind of near the Covey Center, but not too close.
That's true. Yeah, we'll put that one on the to-do list, on the list of possibilities. And then, yeah, so, and I'll drop my contact information as well in the chat if you want to reach out later. Do you guys have preferences of like all bands versus maybe having a variety of entertainment? Does one option sound better?
Yeah, personally, I like all bands. I think a lot of
Circle could be cool.
live music.
Oh, sorry,
just
I'm
me
looking
there.
at the chat as well.
I think bands are great. Of course, lots of different kinds of bands. I'd love to see more jazz in, I don't know, Provo. We get a lot of the acoustic guitar kinds of things, which are cool, but I'd love to see some jazz too.
I love that. Yeah, let's branch out. Okay, great. It looks like everyone in the chat is kind of saying bands, asking if BYU is an option. I'll be honest, we don't have a great contact with BYU for using facilities. I think they tend to be pretty closed off because they are a private organization. If someone has any pull there, I'd love to talk about it. I actually think the duck pond would be a great location. I just don't think it's realistic with the contacts that I have to get it. So if anyone has things there, I do like what Brenda said, maybe having little groups to represent, like parade, like in circle, city council, BYU groups. I think that's a great idea. It's kind of small though. Okay, well, I appreciate this feedback. Aaron said he can help reach out to BYU. That'd be really appreciated. I think the duck pond would be a great location. It's kind of right in that circle, and there's plenty of space to spread out. That's another kind of requirement, is we want to make sure people can park their bikes and sit safely next to them rather than going indoors and having to lock everything up. So also indoors is quite not as safe right now. All right, I think that's it for me. I'll drop my information in the chat and you can reach out if you have more ideas. Also, if anyone would like to collaborate, we are totally open to that as well. If you like events and want to help plan as well, we're totally open to that. And oh yeah, sorry, we're looking at the date for Friday, May 21st right now. So BYU Jazz Band to play the Duck Spawn. That could work if we have a BYU sponsored group. So, so yeah, I might be reaching out to Aaron and Brian later. So,
Aspen,
all right.
Did you say May 28th?
May 21st. So
May
Friday,
21st.
May 21st, the weekend
Friday?
before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do Saturday too. I just picked Friday. I just picked a date. So
One idea really quick. A while ago, Corey Fox, he owns Velour. He was trying to do this same thing where there's different bands. They're like on the roofs of garages in Provo, and you bike from one or the other. So he, like, if you don't have a list of bands already, I'm sure he can help you with booking, and it'd be good to involve him and help support Velour in any way, because they haven't been able to open for a year.
yeah, I agree with that. And that was the one thing where I was like, oh, they're indoor, but I think we could still probably tie them in. So that's a great suggestion. We can find a way to do that. So great. Well, I'll let you guys continue with the meeting and I'll drop my information in the chat. Thank you so much for this feedback. It's been really helpful.
Thanks, Aspen. Okay, Aaron, you are, you, Melissa, and I think Carly are running Bike to Work Day with the city. Do you have anything that you want the full group to know? Any ways that we can help you? What should we know about Bike Month?
Yes. So I just got a new computer. And I don't know how to share my screen. It's asking me to change my preferences. So I had stuff prepared to show you, but it's not going to work. So I'll just talk my way through this. So Austin, I was trying to do that at the same time you were talking. You just want me to go over what's happening and bike to work day as well, right?
I think most people will know what's happening. But yeah, I guess you could. This is a good chance to ask a larger group for their ideas or thoughts, or ask them to help in any way.
Okay.
So you could run ideas past them.
Okay. So a quick overview of Bike Month. We have Bike to Work Day planned on Wednesday, the 5th. So please put that on your calendar. And I'll come back to that in a moment. That'll involve breakfast stations all throughout the city. And I'm going to ask for your help for that in a moment. Also, we'll be having a rite of silence on Wednesday, the 19th. So put that on your calendar. And then the event that Aspen just talked about on the 21st. And then there'll be other events that will be planned mainly by the Provo Bicycle Collective and perhaps downtown Provo as well. So in terms of the Bike to Work Day, I'm really sorry I can't share my screen. But we've been doing this for 5 years or so in this format, where we have different businesses throughout Provo host a breakfast station on that morning, and people who work there or just who live in the community ride to these breakfast stations. Despite COVID, the city said we're going to do it just like we've normally done it. The food might be prepackaged in a way that's a little bit different than 2 years ago. And we had about 15 or so businesses participate in 2019. The city will be reaching out to most of those businesses to ask if they will participate again. But once they agree to do so, they will need our help to distribute some of the materials to those businesses. And maybe I'll just cut and paste some of this information and put it in the chat since I can't share my screen. And then also, we would like to grow this event and have more businesses participate. In the past, we've really focused on businesses that have lots of employees who would be biking to work. But I realized this year that we should actually be following the Fort Collins, Colorado model. They have over 100 businesses that participate in their Bike to Work Day. Many of them are breweries. We don't have a lot of breweries in Provo, but we do have coffee shops and cafes and pastry shops. And so I've generated with a number of people's help, I've generated a list of those sorts of places, and we need people to reach out to them and encourage them to participate. The mayor's office has prepared all these materials. So as soon as this next week, I'd say, we have materials to provide to answer the questions about what participating would entail, what hosting a breakfast station would mean. That
I emphasize something you said.
Yep.
So here in this group, we've got 33 people. I'd venture to guess maybe we have a dozen or more different employers represented here. So the way that you all can help is if your employer hasn't participated in Bike to Work Month before, then you should ask them to be a part of it. And Aaron has those materials. Basically what it requires of them, all it requires is that on Bike to Work Day, they invite all the employees to ride their bike to work, just a simple email or whatever invitation, and then give them a treat or a breakfast for doing so once they arrive.
Right. And not only places where you work, but also businesses that you patronize. If you have a relationship with a particular business and you're willing to reach out to them. Some of the businesses that we would like to participate this year that haven't participated in the past include Provo College, Vanderhall, Action Target, Vivint. Particularly businesses up in the Riverwoods, Rocky Mountain University of Health, Macy's, Microfocus, and then some of these food places that we've identified are fillings and emulsions, Dutch Brothers, Starbucks, Provo Bakery, Rugged Grounds, and I'm sure there's a lot more. So I'll put these in the chat. Also, if you have ideas, go ahead and put them in the chat so we can kind of move things forward on the agenda. And also, if you're willing to reach out to a business, let me know, and I will be in touch with you. Any questions?
Okay,
Oh,
thanks,
Rugged Grounds
Aaron.
closed. Okay, all right.
Oh, Rugged Grounds is closed.
Darn it.
Yeah, I think I remember that a while ago. Okay, so our last two agenda items. First, we're going to turn some time over to Kira Johnson. You probably met Kira before. She lived in Provo for a while. She did the urban planning degree at BYU. She worked at Provo Bicycle Collective. She started the women's night there and did a fantastic job. Kira moved away, but now she's back and she's here to run the Provo Bicycle Collective. She's going to be in charge of it. So we've asked Kira to share her hopes and dreams for what she wants to do with the Provo Bicycle Collective.
Awesome. I'm so happy to be back in Provo. I lived in Virginia, worked as a city planner there for a couple of years, and missed Provo a lot. So I'm happy to be here again. And really, I love the Bicycle Collective, so it's exciting to be back in this space. Obviously, there's changes that have happened because of COVID, and we're hoping to start up some volunteer programs again here soon. And we'll start with just like core volunteers, people who've been volunteering regularly in the past, and then start opening it up to general public. And hopefully we can get started with that and women's programs again, youth programs, hopefully sometime this year. And just hoping to be a big presence in the community. That's the collective opened a lot of opportunities for me when I was a student at BYU, and gave me a lot of friends, and was a great way for me to meet people that thought similar to me and were excited about the same kind of things. And so we hope to just continue being a good community presence. The shop has been more restricted in hours, but we are going to start opening that up a little bit more. We're going to do some new hours in 2 weeks that are hopefully a little bit more accessible, especially to people that are working. Currently we close at 4, so if anybody gets off work at 5, it's hard to come into the collective. So we're going to be open until at least 6 to hopefully reach more people. So those are some things. Let us know if you have any needs. We're here for it.
So Kira, if someone wants to buy a bike, do you guys have many bikes in stock? I know a lot of shops are struggling to get inventory.
Yeah, we do have bikes. And we also started, so we still refurbish bikes. That's our biggest priority. And we do have a decent number of bikes that we're still working on refurbishing. It's mostly just, like if you're really tall or really short, or that's where it's a little bit harder. But we're also selling some like new bikes. So we get, it's called Retrospect is the company, and they're just like really, they're pretty hybrid, good commuting bikes, on the cheaper side, good for students, good for people that just want to get around by bike, but still emphasizing the refurbishing of bikes, just trying to make more available.
Yeah, the Bike Collective is really unique in that it focuses on that entry-level commuter market, and a lot of bike shops don't do that. A lot of bike shops are focusing on racing and mountain bikes, and so like BikeWalk Provo and Provo Bicycle Collective have always had a good relationship and a good partnership, because the two do very similar work. The Bike Collective is providing the bikes for the people, and then we are helping create safe places to ride. So it's a good partnership. And if you, I've seen those bikes that Kira talked about, the Retrospect ones that the collective is stocking. I think it's a good choice. They most of them come stock with fenders and racks, and then lights and locks are pretty affordable. And I think it's all like less than $400 or something. Yeah,
they're the ones that we have right now are $300. We're actually hoping to start stocking a few of the little bit higher level ones, just because they're better quality. These are fine, but we could do better. We don't want to put too many bikes out there that are going to break quickly. So
yeah, cool. Thanks, Kira. Well, we're excited for when the shop opens back up again, and we can all take advantage of open shop, because I'm sure a lot of us have things we need to fix on our bikes.
Yes, yeah, and with that, if anybody does have needs for the bikes, even though we don't have open shop, we have a great service center, and that's available for you all to come set an appointment, and we can get bikes worked on.
Cool. Thanks. You guys have any questions for Kira?
I agree, Aaron. Mechanics here are so great.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have Kira back. Yeah, she was, when I was running the Bike Collective, I hired Kira on, and she did such a great job. I think she's just going to take the Bike Collective to the next level, and we're all going to experience it. We're going to watch it happen. So that's exciting. Okay, so the last item, and this is probably going to be the most important thing that you guys will ask the most questions about. Rob Hunter is here. He's from Provo City Engineering, and he's going to tell us about street projects for this summer.
All right, thanks, Austin. So I presented, I think once or twice on different projects that we're planning on doing, just striping projects or different things that we've talked about doing completing the 200 East, which are actually in the middle of doing right now. Now that it's warmed up, they're out there installing signs and the markings. We've talked about getting additional signs up on 800 East. And so today, what Aaron had reached out and asked me to talk about is specifically the ones that we're doing as part of our road rehab, and then I've also got the locations where we're doing sidewalk replacement, which some of it is just broken up sidewalks, some of it is redoing or putting in ADA ramps, and so that's my my plan for today. So let me share my screen here. See if I can get that to show up. Right. So is everybody seeing the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. So, somehow I started at the very bottom. I guess I should have specified that. So, starting with the road rehab projects, there are a few different road rehab projects where we're going to be putting in striping that is not currently there. The first one is along 900 West. If you've been out there over the last week, it is milled down. What we do every year is we'll go through and the contractor will go and mill down at least most of the roads. Sometimes we'll break it into two chunks, but as they do the milling first, because it costs to mobilize everybody and get them out to the city, the big equipment that's required for this. So they milled that down. They're starting to replace some of the sidewalks, some of the ADA ramps in this area. We're redoing some curb and gutter. In fact, as we were kind of seeing what was being pulled out, we just got together again today and realized that it made sense to replace even more sidewalk than we were originally planning on. But we will be doing striping in our standard 5 foot. That's all we've got room for on the 900 West. Width that we've got is to do. We're going to be doing the smallest lane width that we ever do on collector streets, which is 10-foot lanes, and we'll have the 5-foot bike lanes, and that'll leave about 7 to 8 feet on the sides for parking, since this is a residential area that has quite a bit of parking on it. So that'll go all the way from Center Street all the way down to 6 South. That's what we're doing right now. When we realize, like I said, again, how much we're already pulling out, we realize we might as well just pull all this out, at least on the west side, redo the curb and get these bike lanes in all the way down. The one place where you'll have to squeeze into traffic is right through the railroad. It is a requirement to squeeze down so that people, when the arms come down, people can't get around. So there's really no way around that. So we'll stripe that in to have some, dash lines that kind of direct you back into the lane just as you're going through the bike lane, and then back out to through the railroad, and then back out to the bike lanes after you pass 5th South. So have any questions on that project? All right.
I think Aaron put in a question on the chat, Rob.
Oh, sorry. With
Said, any chance of taking the lanes north of Center Street?
We will need to take a look at north when we. I don't remember, Aaron. When we have that on our plan to redo that, but that's kind of our plan right now with all the other ones that we've worked through where we're doing striping. As I said, that we've talked about doing striping and putting in signage and stuff outside of our road rehab. I've used up all that money, so we've got to stick with what we're rehabbing in terms of 900 West.
Right, Rob, just really quickly. I'm really excited, as I mentioned, about the lane south. But just to give you a little bit of context for the lanes north, that road was rehabbed, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. You would probably know better than I, but that was an early defeat of something that was on the bicycle master plan that didn't get implemented. And so I don't know when it will be rehabbed again, but we don't want to be defeated twice.
Too far down the road. I gotcha. So I'll have to take a look and see when that is. I mean I can safely say, as I said, I was told yesterday, and I took it as a compliment, is that I'm really good at spending money. Somebody told me. So so I've spent the money that is available for putting in striping and signs and everything for this year. So so we'll get it in as I guess that's as best as I can say, is we'll get in north of center as soon as we can. I don't know off the top of my head when that will be. So, but we'll get this done where we're rehabbing it. We'll get that striped in this year. And then the next one is Canyon Road from the Avenue to the Parkway. The bicycle master plan shows, all of Canyon Road, and we've talked about we need to do some outreach, but we anticipate striping in. It's already got the striping in there, so we just need to take off the parking and paint in the bike lanes, and we need to do some additional outreach, but I anticipate that we'll get that in this summer also. And then we'll do University to Cougar. We'll also have bike lanes as part of this. As we looked at this area, Shane Winters, if any of you know him, he realized that we had a great opportunity with the road rehab. As we talked about, we do some. We combine some of our sidewalk money with the road rehab, and we're doing stuff on 9th West, and we have a chance to do some here. Also, we don't do a great deal of changing the curb gutter, just with their road rehab, since it's the funding for that is specifically for pavement preservation. But realize that at least one of the things that has been kind of a gap, and a short gap, but a frustrating gap is the connecting the Cougar Boulevard bike lanes, buffered bike lanes, up to the bike lanes that the BYU has on the campus going up Campus Avenue. And so we've coordinated, Shane brought it to their attention, and we're coordinating to redo this short stretch of curb and gutter, get that pulled back. We are aware, and they are very aware that this corner is a highly has a lot of meaning to a lot of people. This is a place that a lot of people come to take pictures, especially around graduation. And so we're pulling this back, and then we're moving the sidewalk so that we don't have to mess with this this big sign, moving the sidewalk back around here. But that'll allow us to move the sidewalk back and be able to have a continuous bike lane that goes from our street here on Cougar Boulevard up into campus on BYU Street. So,
Rob.
Yep.
Sorry, quick question. This is really awesome, even more awesome than the 900 West. The lanes, as the lanes enter BYU, do you know if they'll be regular lanes or buffered bike lanes?
I believe what BYU has sent to us. I don't know if we've got the final. I know that they were talking about that they would tweak it. They were looking to tweak it, but I believe what they're doing is just regular bike lanes. Is
The
that
concept
is that
plan
what they
they
have
sent
further
over
up?
just shows 5 feet with no buffer, regular
buffer.
bike lanes.
And
Good.
I think that's kind of the constraint with being able to pull it back, but not pull it back so far that we're messing with the signs.
Right.
From our short meeting with them, I believe that's what they were trying to balance.
Okay, that's fine. But could you, I know you can't dictate to BYU what they do, but could you suggest that regular bike lanes on a 30-mile-per-hour road is not safe according to the Federal Highway Administration. And they should really lower their speed limit to at least 25 miles per hour. They're hearing that from the campus bicycle committee, but I think they might pay more attention to you two traffic engineers than us bicycle advocates.
I think we could bring that up. I think if I'm recalling correctly, that's the speed limit here on Cougar. So they might look at us kind of sideways if we tell them they need to sign it lower than we have ours. But
but the ones on Cougar
we
are
do have buffered. Yeah,
are buffered.
Right.
It's a big difference when you have, because if it's 30, people are going. I ride that road every day, and people are driving 35, 40 miles per hour because it's 30 miles per hour. Yeah.
We can bring that up.
Yeah, appreciate it. Sorry, one more thing. Are they planning lane? Will there be a 5-lane or a 5-foot regular lane on the north side of the road as well? At least the flat section, not the part that goes downhill, but the flat section.
Their concept plan shows 5 feet on both sides. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I'm going to ask one question that was in the chat. A lot of people were asking about parking protected bike lanes on like the Heumann Halls and running track section because there are very few driveways. Is that something that you guys have looked into? This could be a cool place to test it out first in the city.
Yes, we did. There is no parking on in front of the track, that stretch of Canyon Road, and we've got to keep it a 5-lane road just because of especially. I mean, it's a collector or a I believe an arterial through this section, anyways. But especially on game days, this is a major way for people to get in and out of the main parking lots on game days, and so the discussion is there's really no chance to do anything less than the 5 lanes that are there right now. And with 5 lanes, there's not enough room. It's going to be tight just to get in bike lanes. We've got about 60 feet of pavement, which leaves us just enough room to get just about a 5-foot bike lane on each side. That's all there is. We can't go smaller than that with the 5-lane road. We also took a look at doing parking protected bike lanes just in front of the section where it's wider because it has parking in front of Helaman Halls. The guidance on doing doing standard bike lanes actually it does fit in there. The guidance that NACTO has for doing parking protected bike lanes does not, because with parking protected bike lanes you need an added buffer on the between the parking and the bike lane, added buffer, because now the car is a slightly wider parking lane and then buffers, because now they're whichever way they climb out of their car, they're potentially blocking traffic. And so I know that was part of the bicycle master plan was the concept was to put parking protected bike lanes in here, but like I said, we can't meet the very minimum guidance with based off of the width of the pavement that we have out there today.
Cool, thanks. And we're definitely not advocating for wider roads here.
Anybody?
I'm gonna have to hop off, Rob, but you're doing great.
So maybe I'll so I can keep track of it's not showing up the chat on here while I've got the thing going. So let me move it over so I can pay attention, or maybe Aaron and Austin, if you want to let me know as I go back into this, if you let me know what's being asked in the chat, then I'll make sure that I get to it.
And we'll send you the chat at the end as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds great. The next one that we're also doing a stretch of 300 West. We've already talked about that we're going to get as much done with the, like I said, I've been told I like to spend money, and 300 West is one of the things that we're looking at and seeing how much we can get done. At least this stretch, between 940 North and Cougar Boulevard will be done, because that we can get that done as part of the road rehab. So that is milled right now. The plan is to take off parking, and Javin has sent out. We reached out. I say we, it was people previous to me, staff previous to me had reached out as the hospital was being done, letting them know that the next time we came out to do stuff on this stretch of roadway, that we'd be taking off parking. Javin's sent out a letter just reminding everybody, hey, we're out here again. This is the time we're taking off parking. So so when we, as this is all milled down, and as we put it back, we'll put in the bike lanes, take out the parking and put in bike lanes. And then with whatever money I have left with all the signing and striping that we have planned for this year, we'll get as far down, continuing south, we'll get as much done as we can this year on 300 West.
Cool.
Somebody have any questions on that one?
No questions.
Okay.
Oh, Rob, this is really not a public works question, but on our bike tour, there was talk about improving the route through and around the rec center.
Yes.
Do you know if Parks is working on that?
So we put together a plan, and I think we had talked with you guys about it. We are going to add. We're adding that. It hadn't been in a part of the original, bid work for our sidewalk replacement, but that's doing the ADA ramp, straight down onto 800 North. We're going to add that in there, and then adding that, kind of making it a smoother corner there back behind the rec center is going to be added in. And then the rest of it will be done with, we have that plan put together, and the rest of it will be, like I said, we'll get as much of the signage down there as we can. But we may have to push that to next year to continue doing signage based off of, whatever budget is left as we work to get all this stuff in. Yeah, we're working towards that. You'll see stuff going up this summer to move that forward. Let me see. And then the next one, we do have this little stretch is the only stretch of 150 coming out from the BYU campus that is ours, and that is being also repaved this year. So I know, Aaron, you're working with BYU on a plan. So this one doesn't have any other striping associated with it. So basically, whenever BYU says, "Yeah, we're ready to make this a Cheryl," we'll paint in our part of that. So,
right.
And then just to let you guys know, there's also stuff that's not the end, but just since I was presenting on the in terms of the end of the projects that are being repaved this year, but since I was doing that, I thought I'd let you know. So. We're doing stuff out here north of the river on the west side. 620 North is the one that shows up on the master plan as being a bike facility, and it already has bike lanes. So we're just going to stripe those back when we are done with that. Same thing here on Independence Avenue. This part is being repaved. It already has bike lanes. We'll just put them back when we get done with that. There's also a little stretch of 600 West. Where we are redoing curb, gutter, and sidewalk. It's not a bicycle thing, right? It's just a little stub street, but it'll get the new curb, gutter, and sidewalk in there, which helps out with walking. And then there's just a couple other locations out here in the Indian Hills that are being redone. It's all local streets. It's not part of the bicycle master plan. And then you already saw 300 West. We're getting that done. There's other ones in the area that we're doing, but none of these are part of are on the active transportation network. So just wanted to make sure that I let you guys know what all was being done. And then in the sidewalk replacement, I did not do a separate slide, and I know we're getting towards the end anyways, but there's a bunch, probably 30 places that were originally, this is the map that was put together in terms of original locations where we're replacing sidewalk, stuff that's just too broken up to just grind down, or putting in ADA ramps. So I talked about a couple of locations that we're doing on the 300 West alignment. We've also identified different locations where we needed to do some additional improvements to safe routes, so ADA ramps, putting in a pedestrian refuge island on Center Street at 600 East for the Provo Peaks Elementary, in front of Provo Peaks Elementary. So there's additional locations beyond here, but there were just too many projects that, you know, we review stretches of sidewalk that need to be replaced, and we get to them each year. But there's, like I said, probably 35 projects that are associated with that. I didn't break it out into each one.
Cool, thanks, Rob. That Provo Peaks Center Street one, that's really important. That's a big one. If you guys have been to that section of Center Street, it easily could be a 5-lane road. And I'm sure people drive like it's an arterial road too. They drive fast on it. So having that refuge island will be huge.
The other thing that we are doing this year, we're at least putting in the conduit necessary, and the pole boxes, if you guys know what those are, for conduit, so that we're going to put that in as part of this concrete improvements project. And then again, based off of budget, we might be able to get it in this year. It may be a couple of years down the road, but putting in a rapid flashing beacon is those ones where you push the button and the signs will flash when a pedestrian wants to cross there. The caveat being, from a safe route standpoint, is that right now, the way the state rules are written, you can't have flashing lights. This is a reduced speed area for the safe route crossing. You can't have other flashing lights beyond that. So if we get it in this year, we'll have to install a switch to where, when a crossing guard is there and the reduced speed zone is flashing, then the rapid flashing beacon won't work. But then when they go and they switch the reduced speed zone off, then the rest of the time where other people are crossing the street, they'll be able to turn that on. We anticipate that with the update, which may be a couple of years from now, when they redo the state rules regarding that, we anticipate that they are going to remove that restriction, so that both can be happening at the same time. So we'll see with that, but that's kind of why we're saying we may get it in there this year if it makes sense budget wise. We may get it in this year, but it's going to have to be a switch back and forth. Sometimes it's working and sometimes it's not, based off of if it's during school speed reduced hours. So,
well, thanks. And then one last question that we want to ask you. So you guys did that temporary roundabout on Slate Canyon Drive. Mm-hmm. Is that still up? And also, did you get good feedback on it? And what did you learn from that process?
It is not still up. We just did it that week where we had the neighborhood meeting with them at the end of the week, or the end of our week, I guess, Thursday night. And we got, I believe, when we pared it down to, some of them were duplicate responses, but I think when we took out all the duplicate responses, we still had around 80 responses. So we did get a high amount of responses. We're putting everything together. We had left that open for a couple of weeks, and so we're putting everything together to bring back to the council. And I know Dave Decker, the Public Works Director, was setting that up to get back on the council to bring the results back. See, with council, this is one of the projects where we wanted to show what it would be like. This is kind of our first, the city's first. Well, I guess maybe not true. I think we worked with you guys before I was over here a couple of years or a few years ago to do something in front of the rec center. But maybe our first attempt in a few years to do a temporary tactical urbanism. Let's show you what we're thinking about doing before we actually, finalize and move forward on it. So the general is there was a lot of positive feedback and there was a lot of negative feedback. There's a lot of concern from those in the neighborhood that yes, there is a speeding problem. Yes, there is a safety issue. So the temporary roundabout or the temporary traffic circle that we put in there was one of the ideas. We also had a list of other ideas. There was a consensus that not everybody in the neighborhood felt that way, but a majority felt that there was a speeding problem. There wasn't a lot of from the people in the neighborhood, which is typical to what we found in other neighborhoods. There's a lot of pushback in terms of doing anything, because anything that would help reduce that speed would also take off people's parking, and that is a exceptionally highly parked area. And so we didn't get there wasn't a lot of it was probably slightly less than 50% support in terms of anything that we said we could try this, we could do this, we could do this. It was slightly less than 50% of the people that lived in the area that said, yeah, I would support that. So we'll put that into a presentation. We'll bring that back to the council. That doesn't necessarily mean that council isn't going to move on it. We did the study, we solicited feedback, and we'll present that to them, and we'll see where council wants us to go from here.
Cool.
We are supportive of it, of doing that in general. We don't typically want to force stuff on neighborhoods that they absolutely do not want, but we are supportive of the idea. But we'll see where council goes when they see what the neighborhood actually said. So
yeah, at that first presentation too, when Dave Decker was presenting, the data plays out. It's pretty obvious that there's a speeding problem on most collector streets, and so it would be great to start with Slate Canyon, and then as time moves on and as budget comes in, replicate that sort of thing throughout the city. So thank you, Rob. Okay, so we're gonna end it here, unless you guys have any last announcements before we end.
Austin, there was a question from Aaron Pine about Geneva Road. She said there was some staking going on there. Rob, do you know what's going on Geneva?
On Geneva, I'm trying to think of what would be going on Geneva Road. That's a UDOT facility.
Right.
I don't recall. I'm trying to think if there's even any development stuff that's going on there.
The Orem section got some state funding recently that from the legislative session. It got funded at a few $100,000 for the Orem section.
Yeah. So up in Orem, and they're doing they're also doing a development on the northeast corner of I believe in Orem. That's just just across the street from the Provo side at 2000 North. The other thing too that they may be doing is the UDOT is moving forward on design of a signal there at 2000 North. It's not being constructed yet, but they may be doing something to helping with survey of where things would be, or where they're anticipating things will be located. So that's the only thing. If it's up by 2000 North, it's got to be either something on Orem's project, or maybe UDOT is doing something just to be able to survey for the future signal.
Cool, thanks. Okay, one last question we have. Sorry. When will Lakeview Parkway Road be finished to Provo High School?
To Provo High School from Center Street, I'm assuming. That'll be, we're going to start construction on that probably in towards the end of May, maybe beginning of June, depending on the contractor was selected. The original plan was to start June 1st. I'm probably going into the weeds, but there's some chance to start that sooner. So there's sewer that's going in right now. Dominion is going to put a gas line underneath there, and then we're going to start, like I said, probably towards the end of May or beginning of June. And then there's 2 bridges that have to go in because of the Delta Restoration Project. If you guys don't know about that, that's probably too much to go into right now, but they have a website. You can look that up and see what that project is. But there's 2 bridges that are going in, and then we're connecting Center Street up to 620 North. That'll be done fall of 22, and then that'll have roadway all the way from I-15 there on the south side all the way up to the high school.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks as always. We appreciate how much you do to make it safer to walk and bike in Provo, and keep spending that money in a good way. You're doing a good job.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Rob, can we get you some more money? Would you like more money to spend?
Well, you know, it's one of those things too. Even if we had more money, it's the time. We're going through things as fast as we can, and it's as much of a time constraint as we can only do so many things at the same time. So appreciate the offer. We are looking to one of the other things that we're working on, if people don't know, very quickly is that we're from the public works side, we've got 2 community development block grants. One is to get done a bunch of older sidewalk in Franklin. That's our next priority area. And then the other one is to help do sidewalk and finish up curb gutter and sidewalk in the area where we're putting the pedestrian bridge over from 600 south over to the UTA Transit Center. So.
Cool. Okay. Thanks so much, everybody. We're going to end. The recording will be posted on YouTube soon. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone.